Good morning and welcome to another Coffee with the Tucson Tasty Show. Today we are at Hello Bicycle and Cafe, and we're going to be talking to the owner and apparently bicyclist because he does amazing bicycles. But he's going to fill us in a little bit more with that. But right now we are here with Kelly. How you doing, Kelly?
Wonderful. How are you?
Great to see you.
Happy to be here.
Another amazing Friday. We're going to talk about, and we're going to have some yellow brick coffee. And you know, I asked them just to make one that looks really cool and tastes really good, and it's called the Turkish Delight. And I'm going to try not to spill it as I show everybody this top. But look
precariously. At this. It's so pretty, though.
It is.
I love the pink on top.
And I've been waiting to try it so that I could try it for everybody.
Verified reaction.
Mm-hmm. Wow. You know.
Speechless.
Turkish Delight is one of my guilty pleasures. I would have to say I love Turkish Delight.
Dare I say that you liked Chronicles of Narnia?
We're not going to talk about that. Maybe I've read all the books multiple times. Maybe not. But yeah, no, it's really good actually.
What are the flavor profiles? Because I can't imagine. Like, I don't know the last time that I've had a Turkish Delight, so I can't even think about what it would taste like.
Yeah, I'm not. Turkish Delight has a very unique flavor. I mean, it's more of a texture because it's kind of like a gummy. It's not very sweet.
It's like marzipan is, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And but the Turkish Delight is it's kind of like the perfect dessert or a treat because it's not super sweet, but it's
fair.
But it is a sweet.
It
kind of like European desserts, you know, they're
like
not
baklava. Yeah.
That's a whole nother. Well, that's honey, so it's very sweet.
But it can be heavy on the honey, or it can be very light on the honey, which makes it sweeter or not sweet.
Fair.
But sometimes they put cinnamon in it too, which is nice.
Yes. Well, we can get in a whole another discussion about baklava. But let's. So with the Turkish Delight, it's Chronicles of Narnia. We couldn't get it while I was growing up because it just wasn't available back, you know, in the late 1900s. And
I hate when people say that now, the late 1900s. Like we grew up without a telephone.
Wow. Yeah, right?
That's
I had a telephone. It went like this. Right? And then you go, Betty, get off the line. No. But no, it's actually really good. So it does have a little bit of sweet, but it's got a creamy, and you know, a lot of the time you see Americans eating Turkish Delight. It's a chocolate covered Turkish Delight, which is not.
I actually haven't even seen that.
You can
usually
get
like powdered.
Like
I thought
World Mart powdered sugar is traditional, and sometimes they even put like if you're getting the good stuff, it has pistachios.
Yes.
And
that's where it
so you have
be.
a little bit of crunch, but I love gummy bears. Gummy bears are a guilty pleasure. Gummy bears. I want to point out again that it's gummy bears, not gummy worms, but that's all that somebody keeps buying for me. She's not here, so she can't slap me.
Somebody argued with me that it was Goomy Bears.
No.
And I was like, no, it's not. And they're like, it's Goomy. And like had this huge argument. And then it was so hilarious because my phone heard me arguing about this and then put a commercial for Gummy Bears. And I laughed so hard. And I was like,
there's a whole song, and it's Gummy, Gummy, Gummy Bear.
Exactly.
Well, the German version is Goomy Bears or something like that, but it's a different word.
It's a different word.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair
it
enough.
was funny.
The Turkish Delight, though, is delightful. And
you got it with oat milk, right?
Of course.
Yes.
I don't do regular milk, but look at how they froth that.
But that's my point.
This is, like, impressive that I asked her if she can come and froth my milk at home.
Every day.
For my coffee every day.
Which she, graciously said yes. Smile and nod. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Right.
She's like, or you could just come here every day, right? And I got a chai latte with oat milk, again, because they have the Maya chai.
Oh, yes.
I love it so much. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, I think I have to have that. But I almost got this thing called a España or something to that effect. And it was double shot of espresso with foamed milk on top. And that looked really good. But I I really wanted something cold and delicious today.
I really like all their local partnerships here, because Yellow Brick Coffee, they serve the Yellow Brick Coffee. They have Dirty Tamaringo. I think I actually said it right that time. And then they've got the Maya teas, which is huge. And they have some really cool additives that they throw in there. Maya tea has something called Moxie.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
actually straight like caffeine.
Yeah.
But if you Google Moxie, it's not so nice.
Really?
Yeah, anyway. But yeah, and here is Sam with
Hello,
Bicycle and Cafe.
Us.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, I might have to.
Like kiss the mic.
Just like prom.
Yeah,
Just go
there you go.
kiss the mic.
Almost kiss the mic. Yeah. Almost get there, yeah.
Okay. I might have to run in and out of here depending on how busy the bike shop gets, because I'm not only owner but also operator.
Oh, wow. So tell us a little bit about, so you opened a bike shop and then you said, heck, why don't I do a coffee shop as well?
Well, this bike shop actually started up in Seattle in 2009.
Okay.
I moved up January 2009. It opened up October 2008.
Oh, wow.
And then in 2010, I started working there as the bike shop's sole volunteer, and then began working there actually, and then went on and bought the bike shop in Seattle in 2018. At which point, well, not at that point, in 2021, moved it down to Tucson here, back home where I'm from, and then expanded into a cafe at that point.
Awesome.
Okay. That's
So,
cool.
go ahead.
I was going to just say, because I mean, I'm sure that people, after they've, ridden, they probably want something nice and cold, or right before they're about to head out, they'd like their caffeine, but maybe they didn't have a chance to do it at home, and, stopping by somewhere else, why not support the bike shop that's also supporting you in your, hobby and, athletic pursuits. So that's kind of cool.
Well,
Yeah.
I like it because you can get your bike fixed and come over here and have a cup of coffee while
While
he's
you wait.
working on it,
Yeah.
on the bike, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I
Yeah.
mean that's awesome. And then you have so many local partnerships. We were just talking about it. So Yellow Brick, Maya, you have Okasha pastries.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Okashi ice cream and confections.
Oh, and then ice cream. And then
Yeah,
He
ice
said
cream
tomorrow
this
there's going to be ice cream.
Yeah, the first time we are premiering ice cream at the cafe. He's done ice cream kind of socials at the Coronet, but we are now proud to have ice cream this weekend. Hopefully it will be a long-standing date that he has with us in ice cream. But
Are there any flavors to look forward to tomorrow?
so we've got a vegan black sesame and then a non-vegan toasted buckwheat soba style ice cream. Very, very
Delicious.
cool stuff.
So very Asian, very, almost like a
absolutely.
ramen culture.
Yeah.
You want to try some of this pastry?
I am scared of
mind.
trying everything. Me. Yeah. As soon as you get veggies and cheese in there, I get scared. But is it amazing?
It is.
If I can get hypnotized to like
savory.
everything, then I'm gonna eat everything. But
It's very savory,
Yeah.
and that's really good. And the flavors definitely come together. The asparagus, which I was surprised by. I guess I should read descriptions.
fair.
Yeah, no, the asparagus is
trust
very,
Orders
very
with his
solid.
eyes, not with his mind.
I trust everybody. Just give me good food. So, but the asparagus is really good. Then it has. I think that's it's just asparagus.
And then there's a
Yeah.
there's a bechamel on there as well for a nice cheese topping.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And what's the little yellow?
Oh,
It looks like corn, but
quizzed.
sorry. The little yellow parts. It almost looks like in my world, in the soap world, it looks like beeswax. But I know that I'm sure that there's not beeswax on it. But
Let's see.
taste test individually. You don't know? Okay. Mystery ingredient of the day.
Well, we just have to get him on the show so that we
Yes,
can talk to him
absolutely.
about it.
Yeah.
And speaking of the show, we're going to have you scheduled here, hopefully shortly, to come on the radio show and talk about what you're doing as well. So
very
everybody
cool.
needs to look out for that. Is there any other partnerships? We also have Dirty Tea.
Yep, absolutely. And then
and she's
Yellow Brick.
everywhere.
We
Yellow Brick.
We went to high school, Catalina Foothills, with David from Yellow Brick. So pretty excited to move back into town and found that he had done coffee. But like, oh, I needed some coffee for a coffee shop.
Are you guys related? Because you do look a lot alike.
They do look similar.
We are
Brother
not
from another
related.
mother.
That's funny.
Coffee relations.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome, though.
This is really good. No, and thank you for having us out. And yeah, no, this is awesome. Is there a reason, a passion behind why you wanted to do coffee or bicycle?
I kind of accidentally wound up in the bike world, and then after you do it for so long, eventually you just have to make it your profession, and kind of cut my chops in Seattle. There was a lot of coffee culture up there, and
We won't mention.
Right.
and so doing bikes in Seattle, coffee is like kind of comes with
Hand in
that
hand,
territory.
yeah.
And there's already a handful of coffee shops in Seattle, which is where I really got a lot of inspiration for it. We had a small espresso cart in the coffee shop for a short period of time in Seattle, as well as a old cast iron ice cream machine.
Wow.
So it was
Yummy.
a very strange
Did you
bike
leave
shop.
that behind?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So one thing that you'll have to do is the affogato.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please.
Absolutely.
We will
So-
have a affogato option on the weekend, or just scoops, whatever people would want to do.
Yummy.
Okay. Caffeine and ice cream. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't get
It's a
better than that.
perfect marriage.
Yeah.
Oh, heaven help us. Yeah, I love it. I love just, being able to have...
Front of the mic.
Sorry, well, I'm trying to face him.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I do that, then I'm all, hey, trying to talk to him. When you have like ice cream, I think it's such a platform for all the different flavors. And so like Akashi's doing, like you can add so many different flavors, but there's so many different avenues that people haven't gone down yet, which I find amazing. Like, there's so many different styles of food, but there's not as many different styles of ice cream. Like there are, don't get me wrong, but there's like vast empty spots. Like I've never heard of like a soba or buckwheat ice cream. I've never heard, like maybe something like somebody topped something with sesame, but I've never heard of
31
that.
flavors. I mean,
Yeah, there was not soba flavored in 31 flavors, but that's my point, is that these genres are very different, which I find very fascinating.
I think that it's Japanese style ice cream. So
Yeah.
it's those are the flavors that.
But
they
I think
have.
a lot of people, they head down the mochi like line instead when they think of Japanese ice cream.
I'm sure they have mochi as well.
Oh yeah, we have a mochi here this weekend as well.
Beautiful.
Fair, but that's what I'm saying. It's a different part of that. And I think that's missing, which is awesome. I think that's fascinating.
Yeah, you can definitely look to Okashi for all the bold and inventive flavors, things that might not cross your mind easily. He had one ice cream that I really enjoyed. He did a Japanese whiskey, and it
That
was
would be
just
amazing.
really, really delicious.
Sounds like rum raisin, but better.
But better. Yeah, but better.
Did he get rid of the? Was it like he poured the whiskey in, or
It was mixed in already. Yeah.
Yummy.
They have an ice cream place up in Vegas that does boozy ice cream.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. I haven't. It opened after I moved away, but I've heard of it, and everybody.
Are you from
talks about it.
Vegas?
I'm not from
Or
Vegas, but my family lives there now. So
I
yeah.
love, there's this little casino off the strip called Ellis Island.
Okay.
And on, I forget what days, I want to say it's like Tuesday and Thursdays, they have like buy one, get one free pizzas that are just absolutely aces. And they have this, a root beer that they make in-house.
I love fresh root beer.
Yeah. It's super good.
If Cody was here, he would say, "We're going to Vegas right now."
Right now, get in the car. What I find fascinating about Vegas is I moved there. Like I said, my uncle was a doctor, so he moved there because he got a job as a veteran doctor, and they needed veteran doctors back then. It was one of the new areas that was opening up in Vegas. So he moved there, my grandpa moved there, my uncle moved there, and then everybody was there, and I was like, oh, okay. So then I started visiting there. When I moved there, I realized how much food was actually there. Like, because when you live in Vegas, you don't do the same stuff that you visit Vegas for. So we got to have all the deliciousness, like all the teeny tiny, like we used to go to this one restaurant that was in this like weird off the strip, casino, and they had this amazing like prime rib, and they had bananas Foster. That's where I fell in love with bananas
Sounds
Foster.
like Palace Station.
It wasn't Palace Station. It was oh gosh, I can't remember exactly, but it was so old
Orleans.
school. It was not. It was like, it was called like Gold something, and it was
Golden Nugget? No.
it might have actually been like,
I'll
I
just
don't
keep
remember.
guessing.
Like it was like one of those off.
When we go to Vegas, we literally, our entire trip is planned around our reservations for food.
Oh, absolutely.
Which now it's more common, right? But my family moved there when it was like, the 90s, and so it wasn't quite as
the
well
90s.
known, how much amazing food was there.
The late 1800s
and
or
the late
1900s.
1900s, yes. And so my uncle, being a doctor, he's moving and shaking, and he's tired of being up home. And my aunt was not a chef. Let's just say that. And so they liked going and just eating out.
Food
and so,
trauma revealed.
so we got to go and try all these amazing places. There was this amazing like New York like deli that we would go to, and it was off in the middle of nowhere, like literally didn't even have a parking lot yet. Like it was so good.
Absolutely.
And different ice creams and different, it was so good. I loved it.
Let me tell you about this one thing in Vegas that we did. So there used to be this big international bike expo. And we would go every year, and we had a friend that lived in Vegas, and they were just like, you want some sushi? And we're just like, well, obviously we want sushi.
Yeah.
And so it's like what you were saying, where like you kind of like go off the strip a bit,
You
and
have
there's
to,
like all
yeah.
these great things. And so she takes us to this sushi place, but it's an all-you-can-eat sushi.
Oh, wow.
And we roll in,
Oh, boy.
whole day of convention floor wandering. We're not eating, we're just eating like energy gels and jelly bellies and just nothing good. And so we're like, we're gonna do some all you
Smash
can eat
this,
here. And so we do, and we're just like ordering like tray, and they all of a sudden like it clicks in the restaurant workers like, what's happening?
What did we
All of a sudden
invite
all
them
of our
to?
sushi starts getting a lot more rice and it starts coming out a lot slower. Because we had all vowed, we're like, we're going to get to 100 pieces of sushi each. And so we're like keeping track on the table and stuff like that. And we're just, it's like 20, 40, 60. And like, I get to 80 and I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
But then this other guy, he's like, he almost gets to 100. He's like 90, 95 or something like that. He has to finally tap out because they really essentially
Filled
stopped
with rice,
bringing
yeah.
us food at that point.
Yeah.
But that was always one of my most fond memories of Vegas. Is just like,
Don't
And-
say it's all you can eat if it's not all you can eat.
Exactly. Well, what's your
I would
go-to
go
here
over
then?
and stand behind the
go to here for sushi.
Yeah.
Well, so go to
They
here
make
for
it, I eat
sushi. I just went to Ginza Sushi recently, and that was a really good spot for sure.
Ginza is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
The
they're-
other one's Oban.
Oban.
Those are the two
really
that I
nice.
go to.
Yamato is really great. First and Grant, super small spot. Really, really good stuff. That's probably one of my favorites, Yamato.
Nice. I'm scared still of sushi, but I find it fascinating
Sushi's
because it's
amazing.
beautiful.
It's so
But
good.
I don't eat rice or fish, so it kind of blocks everything off.
Yeah, no, that's
know what I
that's
mean?
going to be all of it.
Yeah, exactly. So I know that I'm one of those weirdos, but that's okay. I can embrace the weird.
Well, that's why you got to go to Gandhi's. They got a great lunch buffet.
Yeah.
And they got these vegetable pakoras that
Oh.
are just, just go to the buffet for the pakoras. That's
Wow.
it.
Okay.
And they haven't
So-
changed their prices since the mid '80s. It feels like.
Oh, fair. That's a deal then. Well, I know Cody always wants to ask a question when he's here, and I know you ask when he's not here.
What's one thing that you have to have in your kitchen?
At
Appliance,
home or here?
spice, ingredient, or gadget.
Here or at home?
Gotcha. Let's see. So my favorite thing in my kitchen is my really terrible plastic squeeze bottle of avocado oil, or
Okay.
terrible plastic squeeze bottle of olive oil, because when I need that oil, I don't want to be fumbling with like a screw top lid or
Fair.
anything. I just need to just like boom. I
Go.
just need to get in and go. The food's burning. Something needs flavor. I need it right now.
Fair. Okay.
So why avocado oil?
I just love that it has like kind of the great properties of vegetable oil, like that high smoke point, neutral
smoke point,
oil. But then it's like a nice healthy option that I'm throwing at myself. Plus, it's like the millennial in me where I like want avocado toast all the time,
Right.
but I just want it in oil form.
Well, I recently learned about the smoke point of avocado oil, which I didn't really realize, and a lot of this one chef
What's
that
the
was,
smoke point of avocado oil?
it's like $4.50.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the smoke point of
I was really hoping that I was going to stump her.
I like food. I just am
You're
scared
good.
of it. But with olive oil, it's so much lower, and so many people cook with it. And what they say is that it actually changes the chemical properties of it, and it actually ruins it and makes it a really bad thing for your body to process once you get higher. So they're like, well, if you're going to do it for
Olive
XYZ,
oil?
yeah. They said for XYZ, absolutely use it. And then for anything else that you're going to use, like for baking or anything like that, put avocado oil on. And I didn't stop to realize that. But it made sense to me. Something clicked because in Italy, you might put like a little bit of olive oil in the beginning, but generally like a tablespoon of olive oil goes on at the end.
Yeah.
But then what doesn't make sense to me is focaccia, because that's just like
Fair.
an olive oil
It's
deep fried
fair.
bread that you
It
throw into a
is.
450 oven.
Yes, thank you.
But
You're
there's
right.
the local
But it's-
focaccia, holy focaccia, who's at the farmers market, the retail farmers market on Sunday, would probably be able to share and provide insight into that.
Yeah,
But
that's a good
I have
idea.
nothing I know.
It's actually because it's the extra virgin olive oil or the extra virgin olive oil. So when you have olive oil,
There's one
yeah,
press.
there's more.
There's the first
yeah.
press, the second
it's
press.
the first press,
Yeah.
it's the second press, but then they actually filter it. When they filter it, they're actually taking out the solids. The solids are actually what burns and causes you problems. So when you get rid of all those extra, or when you have a hazy olive oil, it's good for topping after baking. But if you're baking, you want the extra virgin olive oil. It doesn't have as much as the flavor, but it still has the same properties. And it's those omega-3s that you're really after. Because
yeah,
it's a
the
healthy,
omegas.
just like avocado oil, it's supposed to be healthier. But you know what's even healthier than that? Arizona sea bass. And that's a new thing that's coming to the market. It's incredible. It actually has 3 times the omega-3s of...
You mean like sea bass oil?
No, like
Or
the
like actual fish. Okay.
The actual fish.
Yeah, I'm already out.
And it's
It's
a
Arizona
white
and
fish.
sea, and my brain just like shut off. Like
Right,
I had to
you're like,
process
wait.
it real quick. I was like, I know what sea bass is. I know what Arizona is.
They
But
don't
it's
never the
grown
twin children.
in Arizona, so Arizona sea bass. But it's
gotcha.
3 times the omega-3s of salmon, and so it's a healthier fish. It's a white fish, so you can fry it, you can grill it, you can pan fry it. You really don't need a lot of anything to put on it, but it has all the omega-3s, and it's omega-3s that your body can process. So
I wonder. My friend,
so good.
we went to Papulas the other
Yeah.
night, and my friend's husband,
Papulis?
Papulas, I love
Okay.
it. It's my favorite Greek. And he ordered the sea bass, and they said it was amazing.
Yeah, so the sea bass is different from this one.
Well, I just don't know
Yeah.
if maybe they've partnered. I don't know. Maybe it's the Arizona sea bass. I don't know. I
No,
didn't
they
look that
haven't
high.
worked.
Now, when you have a sea bass grown in Arizona,
Yes.
I assume it's grown in a pool.
Yes.
And so, is this like where champagne can only be called champagne if it's from the Champagne region of France?
Right.
Is a
Maybe.
sea bass not grown in a sea a lake bass, but technically? And is that a term? Is sea bass? I have no idea. I'm just
So it's a
hyperfixated.
transplant.
Yeah, right.
So it's actually grown in. They have a spring that is saline. Essentially, it's saltwater, and it's north of Casa Grande, and it was an old tilapia farm that wasn't being very effective. So they got rid of all the tilapia. They brought in these. I mean, they're like a 9 to 11 pound fish.
Wow.
And they're growing them there. They're cycling the water constantly, so it's not like your typical fish farm.
Yeah.
And then they're taking that water as they cycle it, and after it gets to a certain point, they actually flood irrigate the field, which grows Bermuda grass, and then they cut the Bermuda
Even with
grass.
saltwater, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Because it's all the fish solids that are in there.
Fair.
So it's really great fertilizer, and then they grow Bermuda grass, and then they feed it to the ranches around them.
That's nice. That's sustainability.
it's all-
There you go. Arizona sustainability at its
Yeah.
best.
So it's the fish is amazing. It's a really clean fish. Typically, if it's caught in the wild, it's really muddy. It's described as muddy because they're bottom feeders in the wild.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah.
they actually will go after coral and stuff like that. So,
I
growing
doubt
them
there's a lot of coral in the
a-
Arizona landscape.
Nope. So they only eat
Arizona
their
coral.
vegetarian diet, and they're fed a very specific diet to make
see,
sure that
I
they grow.
thought that they were the fish water was being used on the grass, and the grass was being fed to cows, and then they were feeding the cows back to the fish.
See, I like that. We gotta try that. A little beefy, beefy
Wow.
fish.
It's
cycle
way too
continues.
circular. There's actually no out of the loop. It is
Right.
incredibly inefficient.
Wow.
Never mind. Yeah,
Yeah,
that one-
I'm, like,
that
smiling
that could get wild quick.
Yes, for sure.
So,
Yummy.
yeah. So, thank you so much for having us out here today. Of
course.
It's absolutely incredible. Some amazing drinks, amazing food. Where are you located?
This is Dodge and Hardy, just a block kind of north of Fort Lowell by the Hop Shop. Arizona Feed is right there on the corner, so we're right in a nice little corridor here.
Easy to find.
That's awesome. And then, how can people get a hold of you for bikes?
Jeez, there's all sorts of ways to get a hold of us. So it's Hello Bicycle and Cafe. The Hello Bicycle and the Hello Cafe are two different buildings, but under the same ownership. You can contact the bike shop separately and the cafe separately, just by separately Googling Hello Bicycle or Hello Cafe. You can also find a webpage, hellobicycle.com, our Instagram, Hello Bicycle and Cafe. You can come by and bang on the doors, whatever you want to do.
Open.
What are your hours?
The cafe is open Wednesday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., and then the bike shop is open Wednesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Wonderful. And then, Kelly, you have some amazing news for us.
Yes. So recently I was able to write an article for Making Soap, a magazine. And so I was really excited to be invited to write an article. And I was able to write the article regarding my geode soap. And so I got the cover.
Beautiful. Look
I
at
was
that.
so
Congratulations.
excited. Yes.
Very cool.
And so if anybody makes soap out there or knows anybody who makes soap, this is actually a Design Mania contest, and anybody who makes this soap and submits an entry, you have the opportunity to win $700 as the prize, which is really exciting. And anybody who's ever made soap knows that a lot of times we might not have an idea, but we can try something else and then we can make it our own. And so I was super excited to be able to be a part of this, and it'll be up on YouTube on September 1st, as well as available in this magazine. And so, yeah, please go out and grab a copy and try it for yourself.
Is that crystal geode just based on the shape, or does it have geode in it?
Just based on the design.
Okay.
This one's actually all soap. So all of that is soap.
Darn.
Yeah, so
Isn't that cool?
That's
yeah.
very cool. Edible?
Not edible unless, someone wants to wash your mouth out with soap.
Oh my gosh, I have a great idea. So we should make a TV show called Is It Soap?
Is it so?
That's like so fun.
That's like so original, right?
Yeah.
Nobody else has done anything like that ever.
There are people who do like candles and soap that look like desserts that
I've
are
seen them,
so
yeah.
amazing.
Oh, it's like waxed fruit.
Yeah.
We can make waxed fruit soap.
Yeah, it's so neat. And so I love
I was
being
making
able
fun
to...
of Is It Cake, but
Fair, I know.
There's that also, that Is It chocolate one.
Oh, yeah.
see, I follow the chocolatier. I can't think of his name all of a sudden, but I follow him on Instagram, and he makes some of the craziest stuff. And talking about Vegas in the Aria, he actually has a display,
Yes.
and he had this massive tiger. I mean, massive tiger.
Which is crazy.
And we're walking by it with all the chefs from Tucson when we were there for the Bar and Restaurant Expo. And I was like, that's all made out of chocolate. You know the chocolate guy, and they go, what? And they like obsessed over this. Like, I wish I hadn't pointed it out.
Yeah, got nothing
Can
else
we
done
go?
the rest of the day.
Can we go do something else now? It's
Well,
just
I mean, I'm
chocolate,
sure
man.
they're also thinking, like, A, the amazing, skill that it takes to do that.
Right.
But B, it would just be a pile of mush.
Yeah, the temperature control of that stuff
But I-
really
control,
But I
yeah.
mean, Vegas is super hot as well. So, I mean...
Casinos are not.
Look at Josh. Josh is bringing us some delicious...
There you go.
Oh, yeah, the soap that people... they made the Mentos soap and they tried to eat it.
No.
Yeah. He's like, ew.
They thought it was Mentos, and they bit out of it. This was,
My dad
Chef Josh
also
was saying.
always tells me I should have a sign like not food, because do you remember the hot chocolate one I gave you, the peppermint hot chocolate one?
Yeah.
Everyone used to pick that up and be like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, this is delicious. And I'm like, no, smell it, but don't put it in your mouth. Like, besides, who walks up and licks things?
Well, I was in
People do.
I was in Thailand recently on vacation, and
Speaking of walking up and licking things,
Right.
my wife and I were checking into this hotel, and they brought us this wonderful jasmine tea to enjoy while we're getting checked in.
Right.
And then on the tray with the tea is what I believe to be some sort of cookie or something.
Okay.
I don't know, a cookie. And both my wife and I were like, what is this? And I was like, oh, it's probably a cookie. And like, I'm about to take a bite of the cookie. And then she reads on the cookie, it actually says towel. And it's about the size of a
and then you pour the water on it,
and
huh?
you put the water
Yeah.
on it, and that thing,
expands
it
out.
got way too big. If I
Yeah.
had put that in my mouth, it would have just been a mouthful of towel, and then I
Literally.
would have looked hilarious. And
With an A.
yeah, I'd be like, and then I'd have to like play it off like I meant to. They'd be like, my mouth feels kind of dirty. Like, this is why I did
Right?
this. I'm not like.
Oh man, the spin that you have to roll on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I
to
gotta
save
love those
face.
embarrassing moments where you're just like, how can I spin this? How can I spin this? How can I spin this?
I didn't like your jasmine tea.
Right?
There's no way to not look insulting with a mouthful of towel.
Guano.
Yeah, man.
That's what I think of. Great white badass, great white guano.
Wonderful. Well, I hope that everybody, joins us next week on the Tucson Tasty Show. We're going to be at Blue Willow, so we're going to have that up and invite everybody out. Thank you for joining us this week at Hello Bicycle and Cafe, and come and get some delicious coffee. This Turkish Delight is killer, and I mean it really just hits. And some great pastries, great local partnerships, which that's what Tucson's all about. So thank you and have a wonderful day.
To the A, to the S-T-E-Y, T-T, to the E, to the L-I-C-I-O-U-S, to the D, to the E, to the taste.